Welcome, fellow art travelers. Today I'm doing a little experiment with liquid ink and pens. I began by taping my tracing paper directly on my artboard. This way I could save time by directly sketching on it. My cat tried to help me, but it didn't work at all because he's not an artist. I found my reference pictures on pexels.com and it was taken by Voici. I edited it on Photoshop to make it match my artwork idea more. When I was done sketching, I flipped my tracing paper and made a layer of graphite. I flipped it back and traced my drawing with a colored pencil. This way, I would know where I had already traced. My pencil lead broke and I was too lazy to sharpen it, so I just took a new one. Once my sketch was transferred, I went in with my ink pen. For this, I used a Faber-Castell 0.05 archival pen. I made sure to be very careful with it to have the least mistakes to correct afterwards. When I started rendering, I realized I didn't want this to be rendered completely with the pen. I wanted to have a smoother look, especially for her face. So I used a Pébéo acrylic ink diluted with water. Ink is a very interesting medium because you can't rework it. You have to be very careful about where you put your values. I like to start with very pale and slowly add it up. When I say pale, I mean that I mixed my ink with a lot of water. This was an improvised piece, and making the frame black, I decided I wanted the frame shape to go all the way to the background. So I repeated the shape, and to make a perspective effect, I inked it from dark to light, with a different values for each of the steps. Another thing is that I like to render the whole piece at the same time to make sure that the contrast of my artwork is good and there isn't too much white left on the page. So you can see me go back and forth between different areas of the drawing. This is a personal stylistic choice, as I like to have charged pieces and cover all the white areas, or at least leave white in key places. After, I added some lines over the step. The closer the step, the more lines it had. This added a nice texture to my perspective effect. I really enjoyed creating the concept for this illustration, and I know I say this about all mediums, but ink is one of my favorite mediums. I feel like adding the blue for the hair was a really good idea because it adds to the sadness of the piece. As for the tears, leaving them white really works well because it makes them stand out. Some things that I didn't like about this illustration is I think that I rushed it too much, and I find that the pose is a bit awkward for it. Her arm isn't at the right angle comparing it to the reference. And honestly, I find that the ears are a bit random and don't really match the theme of this work. But overall, I'm really happy with this piece and I hope to create more to have a little series. Write in the comment if you think that it's a good idea. After finishing, there were some little details that were kind of bothering me, so off camera I added a bit of shading and details here and there. So here is the final result. I hope that you enjoyed this video, I hope that you enjoyed this artwork. Please leave a comment, share, like, subscribe, and have a beautiful day.